You prayed for an answer, and I can tell you with certainty that it's waiting for you here. I know you found this message for a reason. I know it's no coincidence that this video showed up in your stream. Your angels, your guides, they directed this message to you to answer your prayer. This is your friendly reminder. If you're catching the replay, you can always 2x your speeds or click the timestamps below. Jump straight to the message. Before we begin, I want to tell you about the energies I was working with before going live, and apologize if you hear kids running around in the background. So they may disrupt the message a bit, but that's okay. It's all part of it. So the first thing that came through was beautiful, beautiful music, listening to beautiful music, going specifically to the opera or to the orchestra or to the symphony to see them play beautiful music, especially in a very non-traditional setting. So I know here there are events they put on where it's all in candlelight and they're surrounded by candles. So a really specific or beautiful type of experience. The scent or taste of coconut, vanilla, jasmine, and cucumber. Angel numbers 1212, 2552, 4455, and 4554. And then we're going to go ahead and work with the cards that came through as shown in the thumbnail. From the Maiden, I got the Hanged Man. It seems like, okay, so I'm going to tell you the second part. And then from the Mother, we got the Five of Wands. So it seems like there is some discomfort in the waiting. There is some discomfort in the requirement of finding a new perspective to be able to receive the answer to this prayer. Tension around how it's coming in. So I'm already hearing like this answer's trying to arrive for you in multiple ways. You're seeing multiple synchronicities in your life, but because it's not the answer you're wanting, it's almost like you're refusing to see it. You're stuck in this, where is the answer to my prayer energy? Because you don't want to sit with the tension that the answer brings, or it's not like competition, but it's like the way it's going to make you have to really prioritize, because things are going to be pulling at your life. Okay. And then of course the crone came through with the Death card. So death and rebirth. It's time for this waiting to end. It's time for this energy of it's not here to end. We're claiming the answer today. We're claiming the answer right now. We are in the energy of clarity. Okay. We are going to go ahead and do some breathing before we begin. Breathing is a great way to ground us in the present moment. The present moment is where our answers are found. It's where our clarity is found. It's where all of reality is experienced. And if you are searching for the answer to arrive, if you're projecting the time that the answer comes, you're not here in the moment where the answer can be received. Okay. So we're going to do a really simple breath where you're breathing in through the nose for 6, holding for 2, and then breathing out through the mouth for 8. We'll do 3 rounds of this breathing. As you're breathing, I welcome you to slow down. Sit in this present moment with me, okay? Let's share this space together. Open up to receive, right? Don't have any limitations, don't have any blocks or any preconceived notions. Be ready to receive, and the answer will come through. Are you ready? Let's begin. Very beautiful. While I was doing that breath, it reminded me of one other sign that I forgot to write down. If I don't write them down as they're coming in, a lot of times they come through later. I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention that. So this one came through when I was doing breath work, when I was connecting with my body. You may be experiencing some weird physical sensations right now. The sensation in particular that came through that I wanted to share with you guys is not quite an OBE, out of body experience, but almost where you are aware that that your energy is not contained by your physical form. right? You can sense that the energy outside of you is the same as your energy, and you are that energy. Kind of a trippy experience. So if you're experiencing that, this could be very important for you. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this message. We will do the collective reading first, and then at the end, I will do personal readings. Just put your name and question in the chat if you would like a personal reading. Today, we're working with all three archetypes, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And then at the end, we will pull one Vegas nerve card to help us ground the message into our body and carry the answer to this prayer forward with us, okay? Maiden. This collective has prayed for an answer. You're holding on too tight, guys. 4 Pentacles. You're holding on too tight to what you think the answer is. Yeah, we got to be balanced. All right, that's not the cards I didn't finish asking, but that already popped through. Yeah, like with the Hanged Man coming out earlier, you are holding on too tight. You are ruminating in a... Unfortunately, the answer to our prayer is not always the answer that we want, right? That doesn't mean it's not the answer for our highest good or the answer that will serve our lives the best. Okay. And first of all, you prayed. You asked for guidance. You asked for help. That's the best step you could take. Even if you're not open to receive the answer yet, at least you asked, because asking is the first step, right? Our angels, our guides, they can't help us if we are not asking for them. They can't interfere. That's part of this experience, having free will. Okay. Maiden, can we please get to the point? I can feel the collective like, oh, can we get the answer, please, that this collective is looking for? She's saying that's how you feel about the answer. Yeah, that's the entire point. Like, connect to your breath. We're just gonna do one card today? Nope. Okay. All right, you have the Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck. There we go. You guys will bear with me today. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this reading. Oh, that'll work. Perfect. My desk is at the office, so I don't actually have a desk in here. And any of my flat surfaces are in the other places in the house, and my kids are roaming wild and free. Would not be good. All right, Mother, can we now please get clarity? The answer to this collective's prayer. They are open now to receive the answer from Spirit. Can we please give them clarity for what the answer to this prayer is? I heard you've asked with your head, but not your heart. So intention with your heart for the answer to come through. Intention with an open heart, that no matter what answer comes through, you're going to keep your heart open. You're going to remain open. That was beautiful guidance there, Mother. Thank you. Oh, we got repeats. We had the Page of Wands on the bottom of the Maiden's deck, and it came out here. I knew that card was going to come out. Oh man, I should have mentioned it. All right, this specific card has been calling my attention for like 3 days. I keep seeing it. The colors, and I haven't read this story, but I watched a documentary on elephants, and so I know this is probably about the way that they mourn the loss of not just their children, but also like members of their family. They go back to the remains and they mourn them for years after they were gone. Oh wow, I just mixed that up, but 2 of Wands on the bottom of the deck here. All right, and the last deck is dedicated to the crone. Crone, can we please have guidance ask the questions first. Can we please have guidance for this collective? They've prayed for an answer. They've intentioned with their heart to keep their heart open for this answer. Can we have clarity, please? Thanks. The Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. See that? Okay. All right. The first card we've got is I didn't even introduce your cards from the beginning. We'll start at the beginning then. I'll introduce all your cards and then we'll jump into the message. All right. From the Maiden, the first card we got was the Sun. Then we got the Moon. Then we got the Six of Pentacles. From the Mother, we got the Brusha, which is the bonus card in this. It means the Witch. The Page of Wands. Again, this is that duplicate card I was talking about because we have it on the bottom of the deck from the Maiden. And the Five of Cups. We're definitely going to read the Five of Cups story today and see that in our future. And then from the Crone, we have the Devil. The Death card again. This came out in my pre-work. This is in the thumbnail. That's why I do this. I don't make this stuff up. And the Six of Swords. See that? The Six of Swords. All right. So you've prayed for an answer. You've been tense. You've been holding on to a timeline, a story, a way that this answer needs to unfold in your life. With the Sun coming out first, I mean, and this is just crazy. The Sun and the Moon right beside each other from the Maiden. I'm hearing it's easier in the daytime than it is at night. You can have, it's like in the daytime, you can have trust. You're like, yeah, everything is going to be okay. But when night rolls around, it's like, I can't see it. There's no way. And so you've been stuck in this in-between phase of receiving this answer because your energy keeps flip-flopping. And that's really interesting because we had Temperance come out earlier when I was shuffling. I don't think the point here is to reject the trust or the optimism or to reject the fear. I think the point here is, with the Six of Pentacles, to allow both to be there, right? To allow both to exist without making it mean something, right? Joy, optimism, it's a fleeting thing. Sadness, it's a fleeting thing. Now, a lot of us experience one or other of the emotions a lot more. And we definitely do have a lot of control over how those emotions show up in our lives. But in particular, when it comes to this prayer, it's surrendering to those experiences around the prayer, right? Even though I don't know how it's going to show up, I know I am taken care of. I know that the universe is always providing for me, that I have a charitable existence because the universe will always provide what I need. Even when I can't see it, even when my brain is scared and crying and, it's almost like you put on a brave face in the daytime. And then at night, what you've been hiding or repressing all day long comes out. Yeah, but it's time to be generous with yourself, right? To be generous with yourself and allow yourself to feel both sides of those emotions. Yeah, okay, now we're moving on to the Mother. We have the Brusha here. So this is the witch that is completely in tune with magic, completely in tune with the earth elements, very much in a seasonal cyclical cycle. And again, with both of these coming out, both of these coming out from the maiden, that cycle of day and night, right? So you've been fighting so hard against that cycle. I'm hearing something about water right now. So if you're not hydrated, okay, maybe I'll take a sip too. I don't feel like I need to, but because that came through, I'm going to. Maybe you're not hydrated, or maybe you need to do some water magic. Maybe you did some with the solar eclipse. There's something about when you connect to the cycles, it reminds you. Yeah, okay. So it has to do with, I feel like this isn't the first time you've had this prayer. It's like this prayer was something you prayed about a long time ago and you thought you had the answer. Yeah, the flip-flopping. You thought you had the answer. And I don't mean like a long time ago as in like a couple of months ago. I mean years ago. You prayed about this a long time ago. And maybe you tried to do something to impact it, like you tried to manifest the answer, or you tried to control the way that it came into your life. But everything in your life, the universe is just showing you, hey, surrender to the cycle of this. Surrender to this experience. Stop expecting it to be a certain way. I don't know if somebody's planning a trip soon to the desert. I'm getting this from this card. So maybe you can do some presence work. Every natural landscape has medicine for us, right? So how can we tap into the medicine of where we're at? Like I am in the mountains and the woods, and it is such good medicine for my soul. Get back into that cyclical nature with cyclical cycle of nature. Ooh, shouldn't have said that. Tongue twister. But how can you get into that medicine? I'm hearing something about heat, using heat, tapping into the flame within you, doing flame work. Yeah, staring at the flame. And I'm not going to tell you guys how to do this stuff. You guys can go look it up, okay? Obviously, be careful, be safe. But it's like just as the sun rises and just as the sun sets, if you can get into becoming the student of your life and following those joys and passions, then you will not have, like, your focus will not be so much on the answer and it will just arise. Like, I'm seeing this as your spirit guides here, and they are fiercely protecting you. They are showing up even when you can't see them, even when you don't feel them. Yeah. You take your focus off of the answer to this prayer, when you instead bring that focus, oh yes, bring that focus back to your passions and your joys, and bring that focus back to here, and realize it's not just directing your focus, you are the focus. You are the awareness experiencing this reality. Oh, and then whenever you tap into that, because your soul has like no lack, it has no need, the answer is immediately available to you, because the soul is everything. The soul is oneness. Oh, I love it. Okay. The elephant who mourns, with the 5 of Cups. We're going to go ahead and read this card. Okay. See that? There we go. Amidst trials of loss, sadness, and treachery, you are destined to uncover the truth. Only then can you evolve through change in your shadow self to emerge triumphant. Ooh. A period of sorrow is upon you. You feel that you have a genuinely heavy heart, and adversity has gotten the better of you. The 5 of Cups suggests that your shadow self is more likely to be triggered if you avoid your issues. What was I talking about? You're like repressing the answer. You're like, these things keep popping up in your life, and you're like, no, no, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. But your spirit team is like, yes, we're right here beside you. Please just listen to us. Please just look. Well, you're asking and we're trying. And you're like, nope, nope. During this phase of disappointment, that's what I told you. Just because you prayed for an answer doesn't mean it's going to be the one you want. And it's okay to be disappointed in the answer. That's part of experiencing life as a human, right? It's okay. Heavy emotions weigh you down, so it's best not to make big decisions. Alternatively, you may find yourself unmotivated to deal with your disappointments, simply wishing to be left in peace. What was I saying? You're in that like hang the man, like I'm just going to hang out here because I don't like everything that I'm hearing. However, when your adversities exceed your capacity to deal with them, it's time to ask for help. Yeah. And so if you have not asked for help from your spirit team, you need to. If you have not asked for guidance from your friends, you need to. And the one piece of advice I would give there is do not ask anyone for advice if you would not switch lives with them in the area where you're asking for that advice. If you need advice from someone about relationships, don't ask your friend that's been single forever. Don't ask your friend that's unhappily married, right? Go to someone that has what you want, and that's who you get the advice from. Don't ask your parents for money advice if they've kept you in this looping lack mentality when it comes to money. Go ask a professional, a financial advisor, or go ask someone that is abundant, right? Seeking help from an appropriately qualified source helps you gain much needed perspective. What did I just say? Appropriately qualified. Ask people who have what you actually want. Just because you trust someone doesn't mean that they have the best advice to give you, right? Which is important because it enables a deeper understanding of the situation while fostering empathy and open-mindedness. And again, at the beginning of this message, I said, coming at this with an open heart, right? And refusing to close when the answer comes in and the disappointment arises and the heaviness sinks in. Refusing to close your heart, refusing to close off connection just because what the answer is not happy. It's not what you're looking for. Okay? When old wounds are ignored, they linger and shape our lives. Shadow work is the practice of acknowledging and integrating our hidden, often undesirable aspects, fostering self-awareness and authenticity. By confronting these shadows, we build emotional resilience and a more balanced sense of self. This process often involves introspection, journaling, therapy, dream analysis, and mindfulness. As time ticks on and the tears lessen, hope will blossom in your core and the world will look a little brighter. Before long, sadness will be replaced by joy, and the little pieces of your soul you lost along the way will begin to return, once again experiencing a sense of wholeness. All right, now we're going to read the narrative for this. The Valley of Ivory is a haunted place. There you will meet with a legacy of cruelty and destruction against the gentle giants of this world. Cruelty is often employed in the pursuit of luxury. This truth is apparent in the Valley of Ivory. The elephant who mourns comes here every year. They come to remember, to understand, to seek out peace and shift a heavy heart. Every year, the elephant chips away at their shadow until one day it no longer has a hold. Oh, that's beautiful. Here's some journal prompts for you to work with. When have you mourned? Describe a time when you were genuinely sad. It's so funny because before I went live, I was in with my other cat being in here. It made me think of Mama Cat. And she's been on a few of the readings. You might have seen her. And she went missing. And I'm pretty sure like she's just gone. Like I had like a releasing ceremony. And I was thinking about that before going live, like mourning grief. How often and how easily do you have a good cry? Yeah. Do you know it's okay to cry? Do you know that when you're crying, your body is actually regulating itself in real time? So many of us, when we were growing up, our parents said, stop crying. You don't have a reason to cry. Why are you crying? There doesn't need to be a reason. The body's using that to regulate your nervous system, to release, to process. It's processing your emotions in real time. It's It's okay to cry. When's the last time you cried? What do you know and understand about shadow work? And then one other thing I wanted to talk about with this card, especially since the idea of the weird physical sensations came up. The documentary I watched about elephants talked about how they remember the path through the desert to the watering holes. Kind of like when sea turtles go back to where they were born, like that intrinsic knowing. They have this knowing and they follow it, and they can also feel the water veins under the earth, miles under the ground. So something about these physical changes in your body, trusting them, allowing them to lead you the way these elephants do, allowing them to be your guide and to trust intuitively that everything is working out for you. Okay. And maybe this is you're praying to release grief. That could be the whole situation. And grief can come up in a lot of different ways. It can be grief in the loss of a loved one. It can be grief at the loss of your identity, the loss of who you used to be. Honestly, I've when I think about the things I've grieved in my life, there's two parts of me, two parts that I remember. When I lost my grandfather and my grandmother, different maternal and paternal, I was very young, and so those hit me kind of hard. But when I grieved the loss of myself, the loss of any identities that I had during my ego death and as part of my spiritual growth, that was massive grief. Because it's not just grieving this life, it's grieving every life and every pain that we've had before. We moved out. If we move now to the message from the crone, she starts off with the devil card here. So again, what I'm hearing is when you prayed for this answer, now that you're coming at it with an open heart, you're going to have the clarity and awareness to see where you've been keeping yourself chained to an answer that may not be the right answer, to an expectation or projection of a story that needs to unfold. You're going to experience now and see all the ways that your behaviors keep trying to repeat themselves. And maybe the opposite is true. Maybe it's not that you're not letting yourself cry, it's that you keep letting yourself cry. Because you know the answer isn't what you want, you keep letting yourself cry. With the Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck from the crone, I hear a lot of nostalgia, a lot of memories of the past. And again, when I was talking about how I grieved my past self, my past level of consciousness, the way I experienced the world, because I didn't realize I was in this devil energy, so limited, so bound, so caught up in the stories and the mental constructs that keep us chained, right? I'm thinking of the Eight of Swords now. We're not really chained, but we think we are. But the crone is definitely inviting us here. When we can release control, I was talking about that with the Page of Wands, when we can just be here, when we can tap into our soul and remember, man, I am one. I am one with the trees. I am one with my neighbor. I am one with everything. That level of awareness breaks those patterns. We talked about the shadow with the Five of Cups, breaks those shadow attributes, right? Maybe this is victimhood mentality. Believing that no one is ever going to fight for you. And if that's the case, have you ever fought for yourself? Do you know your worth? Your worth isn't based on who you are. Your worth isn't based on what you can achieve. Your worth isn't based on what you know. Your worth is based on the fact that you are a spiritual being that can never be destroyed. Your soul is infinite. And so your worth is immeasurable. Just like the soul can't be contained, your worth can't be measured. When you can come at life from that perspective, when you can rest in the fact that you ask your answer and then you release it to your guides, to God, to the universe, and you allow it to come back in the way that serves you in the highest way, in the way that serves everyone around you in the highest way. Because when you do, when you're not clinging to a certain story, when you're not clinging to a certain outcome, when what you're praying about, you can genuinely surrender to the divine, things can transition in a way that you would never expect. 1 minute, you're in a very, very disruptive situation, and the next, you're completely at peace. 1 minute, you are completely overwhelmed with emotion, and the next minute, you're completely surrendered in flow. It requires trust. It requires faith. And it requires a level of I'm thinking lack of fear. I don't know what the word for lack of fear is. Courage? I don't know. That's not the word I want to think about, but like, guys, I used to be terrified of everything. I would have panic attacks over things that would probably never, ever, ever happen in my life. Anxiety over the silliest of things. Like, I would have panic attacks about being lost in space and floating around in space. I don't do psychedelics. There's no reason for me to have these random thoughts, but I would have random fears, guys. And now one of my favorite things to do is to meditate and imagine myself dancing in the cosmos. It's my happy place now, and it used to be one of terror. You need to completely alter the way you're coming to spirit for this answer. Because if you're coming from control, and if you're coming from lack, and if you're coming from, well, the answer's never going to come, you're never going to get the answer. Open your heart. Open your mind to a different way of thinking. Open your mind to a different way of viewing the world. And you'll be amazed at what comes through. Okay, we're going to pull a calm card today from this vagus nerve deck to ground this message into our bodies, and then I'll move on to personal readings. Okay, polyvagal theory basics. This sounds like a lot of words I'm not going to be able to say. This exercise enhances relaxation and emotional regulation by improving blood flow to the brainstem. It positively impacts the ventral branch of the vagus nerve while optimizing spinal flexibility. Gently rotate your head a few times in each direction, noting your range of motion as well as any pain or stiffness. So rotating your head, noticing when you have resistance and pain, or when your neck starts cracking like mine. And then you want to go the other way, full rotation. Paying attention to your body. Lie on your back and interlace your fingers behind your head, gently cradling it. Keeping your head still, shift your eyes to the right, looking as far as is comfortable. Maintain this position for up to a minute, looking for relaxation cues like sighing or swallowing. Return your gaze to the center, then repeat with your eyes to the left. Again, looking for relaxation cues. Release your hands and sit up. Take a moment to reassess your range of motion and gauge any improvements. Okay, so after you do that exercise, you're going to want to do the whole neck thing again. And notice if you have improved range of motion. You can also do like how far can you look over your shoulder, right? All right. Polyvagal basics theory. All right. We're going to now open it up to personal readings. If you would like a personal reading, please put your name and question in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and open up the chat. What in the world? Okay. I only answer one question per viewer, so I don't even know how to pronounce this viewer. I'm gonna do this one. You're a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn too. What I heard when I was putting these cards away for this user is you're always pregnant with opportunity. I know that's not what you're asking about, but that's what I heard. Okay. All right, Crone. Is this user YAQIDE, that is a Capricorn, pregnant or not, please? I thought so. When I was reading your card, I'm not going to speak negativity. I'm not going to speak any type of negativity into your life. But the shadow card did come out on the bottom of the deck energy. The journey to pregnancy could be long and arduous for you. Don't announce your pregnancies early. Wait until you're 2 months pregnant to announce a pregnancy. I do see that you have the potential for a very, very large family. Okay. I do think you're pregnant. I wouldn't tell anybody though. And I would surrender all of your pregnancies to the divine. Okay. See if there's any other questions. Okay. That's all we have today. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for sharing your space, your energy with the channel. Really helps us grow. If you have not, please like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you find out when I'm live. Try to go live Monday through Friday in the AM Eastern time. Kind of varies, but if you click notification for a specific live stream, it will let you know as soon as I go live. Okay. I always want to remind you in this channel, always come as you are and stay as you become. Bye, my friends.